complete loser. My one chance to impress Roxanne and I blew it.
Huh? Max, look! It's the Leaning Tower of Cheesa! Huh.
What's up, guys? So as I always say, I can't talk about, or at least I don't feel qualified to talk about things with mental health unless it's something that I specifically have my own personal experience with. That's why I put up that brand new disclaimer, because you know I'm not a licensed counselor. So I'm saying that because this video is to answer the question, what causes anxiety during puberty and how can you deal with it? So in order for me to, you know, answer this question in a way that I feel qualified to do, I'm going to framework it by talking about my experiences with adolescent anxiety, because I did have plenty of that. So to give a little bit of background, up until, well, I was born in Clearwater, Florida, and up until the age of 9, I lived in Newport Richey, Florida. And things were, not to get too much into my family life, but things were pretty stable up until then. And at the age of 10, we moved, or actually I was 9.5, we moved to St. Petersburg, Florida. And I'm bringing this up because up until that point, because it wasn't discovered yet, I mean, it wasn't, I was about 20 years away from, you know, being properly diagnosed with, you know, Asperger's syndrome under autism spectrum disorder. But up until that point, all the friends that I had were due to the fact that I had lived in the same area so long, and we had all known each other since we were like basically babies, because I lived there since I was 6 months old. But when I moved to St. Petersburg, I had no idea how to make friends, and I didn't know when people were being friendly or when they were, you know, picking on me, because I had not learned how to read people's faces, because I don't understand empathy the way that most people do. I feel empathy for people, but I can only understand people really. I mean, I got a little bit better, but usually it's by reading people's faces. Like, for example, one time this kid was, or something that used to happen when I was a little kid, when I got really excited, my eyes would start watering because, you know, I'm just a very excitable person. And one time these kids were, they were making fun of me, and I didn't realize it. They were like doing the same motions, and I thought I had just made friends. So, but then I found out, like, I remember there was this one kid, he was assigned to, you know, basically showed me the ropes of Northwest Elementary School. He told me afterwards, once I knew what I was supposed to do at the school, that he did not want to talk to me anymore. He did not like me, and he was not my friend. So obviously, and this was leading up to being, you know, I guess a true adolescent. I forget the actual age range of adolescence. I'll probably look it up after this, and so this was kind of, you know, earth-shattering to me, because, you know, I was, you know, dealing with the inability to make friends. Then when I was 11, I moved to Largo, Florida, which, because St. Pete's a pretty nice area, though. I mean, the area I lived in was kind of boring, but Largo is kind of a rundown area. I tried finding like crime statistics on it. I guess it's not particularly dangerous, but the area I lived in, there was a lot of police activity, you know, this and that. And I was, you know, I still at that point had no idea how to make friends. And the kids that were there did not want to be friends with me. I was not their type of person. So I got bullied really heavily, which has led to, you know, it's further created issues with you know, complex PTSD and everything. And the school, I remember there was like fights every single day. It was just a really chaotic environment, and I did not know how to navigate it. Yeah, I was at Northwest Elementary School for 5th grade and Largo Middle School in 6th grade until 8th grade. Then I moved to Bushnell, Florida, which I have pretty fond, you know, recollections of Bushnell, Florida, because the school's a lot smaller. And because it was more of a country area, I didn't really know how to relate to everybody. But I mean, then again, I've always been the oddity. I've always been the outsider. So that was pretty much nothing new to me at this point. But I'm telling all of this, you know, to show the types of anxiety that I was dealing with as, you know, an adolescent. Now, as far as what causes anxiety, I'm not really qualified to explain that in detail. I mean, and plus I know I have a general understanding of it. You know, it's hormonal changes. You're changing from a kid to an adult, and there's all these, you know, your brain's rewiring itself and stuff. But the important thing to understand about anxiety as an adolescent is that it is completely normal. It does not indicate that you are going to have any anxiety issues as you know, after the age of 18 or as an adult or anything. And the way to deal with it, and you know, and as I've tried to show with me, is I had a million reasons to have anxiety, and you know, I made it through. I'm still alive. You know, I have certain types of scars from it, but you know, I mean, this is kind of, you know, a cheesy thing to say, but it is important to keep in mind that a lot of the anxiety comes from because it's the first time in your life where you're very aware of your peers. When you're first dealing with these thoughts and emotions, you don't really know how to deal with them. It gets easier as you get older, as long as you don't just sink into yourself. But what you got to keep in mind is that example with me, I remember maybe 3 people from middle school, and I haven't seen any of them almost 20 years. What I wish I could tell myself when I was that age is that, you know, like the things I thought were important back then really weren't. And that I really wish I could tell myself that, could go back and tell myself to really don't try to change who I am, accept it. You know, I was a weird kid, you know, I was wired to be that way. And it took to my late 20s when I finally just embraced that. If you're a weird kid, and I made a video about this like 2 years ago, if you're a weird kid, embrace it. You're the lucky ones, you know. But beyond, you know, just, you know, kind of, you know, pacifying platitudes, the best way to deal with anxiety at any point in your life, not just adolescence, is find something and focus on it. And I really wish I had done that. And it doesn't just have to be, you know, everyone's going to say, just focus on your schoolwork. I hated school. School's boring. I mean, obviously you should at least make it to high school, I say, but you know, find something that you can be passionate about and focus all your energy on that. I mean, of course, obviously, you know, that's not going to completely stop any anxiety that you're having, but it will at least help you with it. And whenever you make it through everything, once you're past everything, you'll possibly have the tools, you know, to rectify any issues that you have. Because it was until I started actually making music when I was 25, and that's when I really because I was, like I was saying, like I made it through the anxiety issues when I was younger, but you know, they did kind of destroy me for a long time. When I was 25, I started making music, and you know, I started doing YouTube and everything, and that's when I finally, you know, developed my sense of self-esteem, and I wish I had done that when I was, you know, an adolescent. So, you know, that's the best advice I can give. And I guess this video has been kind of scattered, but you know, I'm a scattered person. So I hope this answered the question. If not, ask me for more specific information. So as always, if you like my video, subscribe. If you like my music, buy it. And if you hate me, tell everybody. Out.
Pizza boy, pizza. Pizza for pizza. Pizza bonita. Pizza bonita.